Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning trading session. I had to think about that there for a second. Sorry I couldn't make the open house trading room yesterday. Something came up very last minute, as seems to be the way. All right, so what we're looking at here is the NASDAQ market on the diversified trading system. For those of you new in the room, welcome. Please don't be shy about asking questions. If there's anything you're concerned about or don't understand, or even if you'd like to see a market, please ask away. All right, so we're getting a pretty interesting selling opportunity here on the Eagle out of the open. Yesterday's session, the afternoon, a little bit of a mess. The morning was when all the activity happened, and it looked like it was a pretty decent day overall. Had to wait it out almost half an hour or so before we got a decent signal here on the Eagle, but once we got it, no problem. The overnight, pretty sketchy, bouncing around quite a bit, and we're opening up more or less where we left off, so no opening gaps or things of that nature to deal with this morning. Here was our first Eagle trade. I wonder if that hit its profit objective. No, not quite. Looks like it might have got close enough to find the break even. If you're running a break-even trigger, normally I put a break-even trigger about 3/4 of the way to the profit objective. Certainly when the market started backing up on me like this and gave me this little swing lower, if it failed at this point, I would consider bringing my stops down just above this high. So it's looking like the sellers took a stab at it. Now the buyers are going to try to run it up. Tony says missed his break even by a tick. Oh, got a trend change signal here in the Falcon and a late filter, or pardon me, a soft edge buy signal here on the Raptor. So it looks like here comes a cloud crossover in the Raptor. Going to get a trend line touch here in the Falcon and maybe a macro pullback to follow up this first micro-macro cross here on the Hawk. So a couple of things suggesting maybe the market's going to try to get bullish here. All right, we'll try this trend line touch. I'll take it above the high. Can I risk it below the low? Yes, I can. And you can see we're playing right between here the primary support and the median line at the moment. This is on our support and resistance suite. And again, this is quite early. We're only a few minutes into the session. But maybe, pardon me, maybe we can find a trade that gets a little bit of follow through here out of the open. Personally, I think from a longer point of view, the whole stock index is a little bit more on the bearish side. All right, so here comes a late filter entry signal now, still contending with these highs. All right. looks like they're going to give it a go. And let me see about running that out. If there's a chance we can run this one out a little bit. So let's see, 6:35. So 5 minutes into the session, we bought the Falcon. And this is one of those let's dip our toes in the water kind of trade. And so far, very little follow through. Come on. Huh. Okay, so it looks like we took a little bit of a poke above yesterday's highs, which were around this 47.97 area, or 47.95, and very little follow through right now. All right, so here come the buyers. Let's see whether or not they can regain the market at this point, or whether the sellers are just going to stomp all over them. I'm doing my best to give this trade some room in case we're in a little bit of a sideways range here this morning. I'm doing my best not to be too quick with my stops. Unfortunately, sometimes when you're in a sideways range, you don't realize it until you're in the sideways range. All right, you can see our trade struggling a little bit. We're producing some signals without any follow through. Fortunately, this first micro macro cross had no engagement, or that might have been it for the buyers. We're trying to work a trend change signal here. It looks like the buyer's trying to fight the market back. If I can get a bar or two here in my favor, I am going to start rolling my stops in perhaps a little bit more aggressively. Come on, give me another bar. Don't be like that. There we go. The last thing I want is to get tagged by a tick or two, only to have the market take off like a shot, obviously. Come on, give me one more push. Come on. So we're getting some sideways trading going on here. The market's kind of coiling up a little bit. I'm thinking if we can see a break here above the 47.95 area again, we'll get a little bit more follow through, and I should probably at least roll my stop here below this swing right there. Take a little bit of risk out of the equation. Mr. Buckaloo is asking, Eric, what are your thoughts here on when the macro line goes gray? Obviously, it's an inflection point. He says, does it encourage you to consider anything new? Well, of course, when the macro goes gray, that's always a precursor to a trend change, right? Or in this case, it looks like chop. I think maybe more than the macro line, I pay attention to the yellow bars. If we get a lot of yellow bars clustering, and they're more or less at the same price level, that's very suggestive of a sideways market. Yeah, like Tony says, scoundrels! They're just flip-flopping. Soon they're going to start hunting stops. If there's nothing here to drive the market, we're going to see these false breaks. Oh, is Yellen speaking today? Let's see here. Let me check my events calendar. You know, if it wasn't for you guys reminding me, I would be totally oblivious to this. It's terrible, I know. Oh, yes. Yeah, there's a couple of reports coming out. Or have just come out. I see. Yeah, Yellen speaking at the top of the hour. All right, so we witnessed a little bit of stop hunting here as we're not the only ones or drawing a trend line this way. Get a little bit of a break and a recovery. Try to get some early sellers. Just out of curiosity, had I taken it on the trend line or on the signal, well, I would have hit my break even. I still would have been cocky enough to try to run out the single. Get again, 47.95, a little bit of an obstacle here. There we go. There we go. Come on. There we go. Get up there. $4,800, the next stumbling block. That's where we topped out here. These even numbers, the market just can't help itself. What do you think? Will we see a NASDAQ at 5,000 before the end of the year? Come on. Don't you dare flinch now. See, we're right here at that 4,800 level, and that's where they're piling it on. The sellers. Oh, stop it. There we go, 48 on the bean. Oh, the data box. Mr. Buckaloo is asking here about the data box. On my mouse, I've got the left button, the right button, and the scroll wheel. If you push down on the scroll wheel, you'll get the data box. For those of you who are still running a 3-button mouse, it would be your middle button. All right, I took a chance here on this swing. I had my chance to get the trade to break even. Looking for some buying now to support this 47.95 area that was giving us all that trouble earlier. Come on. All right, let's see what's going on here. We are getting the cloud crossover again here in the Raptor. Excuse me. That's encouraging. We do need to see the market come out here with a buy signal. Otherwise, it's very likely we're just going to end up in this sideways trading range, which is not what I want. The hawk here now into a macro pullback situation off of a first micro macro cross. Okay, this is a little encouraging because the first micro macro cross we know is a very, very strong signal. This not as attractive a signal because, well, where are we going to cover the trade? Yeah, believe it or not, this is where you need to cover the trade, at least back here, ideally below that swing low, which is a lot of real estate to try to get that profit objective. But the fact that the first micro macro cross has engaged is encouraging because this is a type of signal that has a very high degree of follow through. Now, mind you, it's not 100%, but it does have a good follow through to it. All right, don't make me wish I had taken my break-even stop out into the hard edge now. And here we go. Here come the buyers, I hope. Give me that cloud crossover signal here on the Raptor. Come on, that'll give us a little bit of Oomph. Come on. Here we go. Come on. Oh, don't make me break out the mouse. All right, there we go. Come on. So we're working a possible hard edge bounce slash trend change signal here in the Eagle. The trend is still early, but it does say, according to the trade forecaster, we've got 20 minutes of trend. Haven't seen a whole lot of trend just yet. And I think I'll roll my stop up just a little extra there. Back here at 4,800, gotta see that 4,800 yield. Sure thing, Tony. Tony says, when you have time, please show your crude oil Hawk and Falcon charts. There's the Hawk. There's the Falcon. So the Hawk working a macro pullback signal or a three arrow consolidation. Remember, with the Hawk or with the crude oil market, we don't always wait for those four arrows. Very often we'll get that third arrow because the market will break early. Now we're coming back with a four arrow slash macro pullback type signal. And here now, the late filter entry did have another late filter entry through here, but crude oil struggling, to be sure. Speaking of struggling, come on. I don't want to keep my stop this deep, but if we don't see a break of 4,800 soon, I'm going to have to bring my stop in. We're getting another late filter entry signal here, and you can tell just from the volatility today, the large swings that are going on, it's really, really difficult to run a tight stop in a market like this. The buyers are there. I honestly don't know what they're waiting for. Get going. Nobody wants to be the first one in on the other side of 4,800. You watch. If we get somebody trade like 4,800 and a quarter, 4,800 and a half, I think we're going to see some pretty serious follow through, at least enough to get us here to the primary resistance line. Right now, we're kind of skewered by the median line, and bouncing off of it a couple times as well. Even though we had little itty bitty breaks, this is still a reaction to the median line. All right, once more, if we don't see a rally here soon, I'm going to bring my stop in below this 47.94 area. Come on. If you buyers are going to do something, you're going to have to get busy. So we've effectively got a market that's pinched, I would say, between 4,800 and 47.94. If I get a couple of ticks here, I will try to get out of break even, which could spoil my trade after all my hard work, but they're just taking their time. Right on my entry. Doggone it. Come on. That's it. All right. Well, I'll take the break even, and we'll see. We'll see whether or not they can get through 4,800 now, or whether that was a good idea to bail. Oh, here they go. Darn it, eh? Look at that. Well, I admit, not the follow-through I had anticipated on a break of 4,800. I thought the way the sellers were loading up here, once we saw a break of 4,800, it would just go boom, 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 one bar after the next. Not happening. So while I managed a break-even profit, it doesn't look like I could have got a whole lot more out of that. And I certainly, if I didn't roll my stops to break even when I did, I would have them at break even at this point now. Peter asking about the new NinjaTrader rollout, Ninja version 8. Peter's asking, are you using it yet? No, I will not be using it until we're sure the new platform is stable. The reason is, well, it's twofold. Threefold, I suppose. Most of you probably have figured out by now, I'm not much of a technophile. If anything, I'm more of a technophobe. So I'm very, very slow to do system upgrades. In fact, if I had my way, I'd probably still be running Ninja 6.5, but they've deleted that option, so I'm on Ninja 7 under protest. No, Ninja 7 is fine. But the thing is, when they set out these new versions, and NinjaTrader 8 does have some pretty cool bells and whistles, but nothing that's really going to enhance DTS. So really, there's no reason to go into the software at this point. And the problem with rolling early is that you're going to be the one to find the bugs. And, NinjaTrader, they test, and their programmers are excellent, and they do their best to catch all the flaws and kinks in the programming, but they never catch all of them. So I always trade the latest stable version. And it will probably be a good 3 to 6 months, no word of a lie, before Ninja 8 is fully stable, and the indicator warehouse programmers will, at that point, work all the kinks out of the system. if there's any conflicts with BTS. So, no, not yet. That's my roundabout way of saying no, not yet. Adam will give the all clear when Ninja is stable and indicator warehouse programmers have caught any conflicts, but it's one of those things. If you start too early, you'll spend all your time chasing your tail. You fix a little kink in the DTS system, and then NinjaTrader 8 programmers change something that fouls up something else, and so no, I'm not in a hurry. And Ninja 7 is still supported. It's not like they've stopped support on Ninja 7. Well, I'm not quite sure what to make of this, what we're seeing here this morning. The last couple of weeks, we've seen some very pronounced moves out of the open, and then the market settle in, give us another chance or two, and that would be that. Not today. If anything, it almost seems as though we're getting a wedge type thing going on. Or if you're more of a purist, you might draw it like this. In which case we have what traders refer to as a trendline overshoot. And while you might think that's bearish, or pardon me, bullish, very often that's a sign of bearishness when the market overshoots a trend line this way. Lots of yellow bars here in the hawk again. There's no doubt the market has moved to the downside, or room to move to the downside. Yesterday's lows. Oh, down here 47. No, those weren't the lows, those were the highs. Come on, where's yesterday's lows? There we go. 47.40, 3/4. So we're 50 points higher. There's room to move to the downside, no question. Still kind of flip-flopping here. Back at the highs at 4,800, 4,801. And we got another late filter entry signal here on the Falcon. A lot of yellow bars clustering here. If you're looking at this late filter entry signal in the Falcon, I know, very reliable signal and everything. The hash mark's right here. The high is right here. I would probably encourage you to offer up the extra 2 ticks and enter above the high. I'll tell you the one thing that's giving me pause though is we had a late filter entry signal here. Another late filter entry signal here. These are the types of signals that we don't want to see producing time after time after time. The late filter entry signal shows a market that is trying to shift momentum. See down here in the filter? And it's a recovery type signal. So the market is trying to shift momentum, and in this case, the buyers say, "Oh no, you don't," and they try to take the trade back, take the market back. But when it produces time after time after time, certainly 2 within a trend is not uncommon. 3, I would start to get a little bit iffy about it. It's not to say I won't consider the signal, but maybe I'm going to take steps to protect myself. Maybe dial down my risk amount. I'll risk 1%. I'll enter above this high. It's only 2 ticks away. I'll try to run my stop at least 2 swings back. And you can see trade manager says, "No, sorry, Eric, you're going to have to pass on that trade." And that's not a bad thing. You know, when you get a trade that you're looking at and the trade manager says you can't afford it, that's not a bad thing. Remember, your job is not to take every single trade. Your job is to make money. And as obvious as that sounds, a lot of people get confused. And they think their job is to get in there and hustle and take all the trades they can, when really you only need a handful of good trades in a day. And a handful, I'm talking 2, 3, maybe 4. On a day like today with all these yellow bars, the market's screaming sideways to you, I would be looking for 2 solid trades. And we may not even see it this morning. I've shared with you before, the only reason I start the trading room at the market open is for you guys. I don't normally look at trading for that first half hour. Sometimes I need those first 15, 20, 30 minutes just to see which way the wind is blowing. And then if I can say, "Oh, okay, this market's looking more bullish today. Let me look for buy signals." Or "This market's looking more bearish. Let me look for sell signals." Or "This market doesn't know what it's doing. Let me wait for something more definitive." Crude oil starting to tank. So first micro macro cross here now in crude oil. Market trying to head lower. That could weigh on the stock indices, certainly on the Dow, and perhaps the S&P as well. We're looking at, starting to see what's starting to look at here like a little bit of a failure, maybe. maybe. Try not to get too cute with the market here. All right, I'm going to give it a minute here. I'm going to go grab a coffee. There's nothing going on right now, and I don't want to do something silly. I am thinking, and that's always dangerous, but that maybe we're going to see a little bit of a move lower here. All right, I'll be right back. What did I miss? Not a whole lot. So more yellow bars, more sideways trading, a possible, oh gosh, I don't even want to call it a trend change just yet. The filter is way out of sync here. You can just see how conflicted this market is. It's bullish, but just barely. All right, here come the buyers, pushing it back to 4,800. see whether they are successful or not. Wow, I'm not sure I've seen the market this flat for a while. This indecisive. You can see what it's doing to the algorithms. They're just at a loss. All right, while all this struggle is going on, I think we may see a soft edge sell signal here in the Raptor. Oh, here it comes. This was an earlier soft edge sell. This is going to be another possible soft edge sell. There we go. All right, I'm going to short it. This is very, very aggressive on my part. Obviously, the market hasn't really found direction yet. The only thing I like about this signal is that I can cover it above the high. And, what doesn't go up usually goes down. We'll get a comparable signal on the Falcon and the Hawk. I just happened to take this one here on the Raptor. Be nice if we got some follow through on this for obvious reasons, but just for the sake of momentum. Crude oil still heading a little bit lower. I'm debating pulling my break-even trigger. Just because if this works itself into a cloud crossover, the market is going to react and perhaps tap me out at break-even. Well, looks like it's a non-issue. So stops at break-even. We'll just hold them there for now. And you know, folks, you see me trying to run this one out, but there's almost $100 in profit there. There was $100. So we have hit our high probability target. Again, I'm only in here with a single, which makes trade management that much more challenging. If you have the ability to trade multiple contracts, well, of course, you could already bank some of that profit and then try to run out the rest, and they're not going to let me. Come on, get down there. Come on. This is when you start negotiating with the market. Please go back down. I promise I'll take the profit this time. And you know full well you won't. Oh, interesting here. Tony writes he's trading the natural gas inventory in SIM because it's natural gas. Good call there, Tony. Talk about your crazy markets. Tony says I'm in SIM and it was a perfect range-bound market for the OCO on the Hawk. At the report, nothing happened. Talk about a stuck market. Made a whopping $47 in SIM. They're going to tap me here. Doggone it. Oh well. Make the broker happy. All right, just scribbling a couple notes in my journal. Put that one back on the shelf. Yeah, sure. Now you head lower. You stinkers. Uh, More sideways trading. Should have been following crude oil this morning. It's made a nice steady progression, which has been uncharacteristic of crude lately. All right, well, we'll see whether the buyers try to dig in here now and actually try to rally the market again. Yellow bars coming in here. This is such a sideways market. This is a good day to go do something else. Honestly, come back in the afternoon. I don't think we're going to miss very much here this morning. Of course, it's usually times I say something like that and then the market takes off like a shot. Um, yeah, Peter asked, Eric, do you play the Canadian dollar? As we're both a couple of crazy Canucks, since oil is doing better. Oil, of course, huge for the Canadian economy. If the oil prices are going up, then the Canadian dollar tends to do better. And if oil prices are going down, the Canadian dollar tends to do a little bit worse. No, I don't trade the Canadian dollar, not from a day trading perspective, anyways. I will consider end of day trades for some of the currency markets. Intraday, though, the NASDAQ is really my personal favorite. Where in the Great White North are you, Peter? I hope not Moose Jaw. after some of my little Moose Jaw jabs. Moose Jaw. It's actually a nice community. Been through it. Haven't spent a whole lot of time there, though. All right, we got an early trend change signal building here on the whatchamacallit, on the Falcon. And we have a red bar buy signal here in the Eagle. All right, so if you were inclined This is a little bit on the risky side to be sure. Oh, shoot, I don't need two contracts on that. Let's just kind of ease our way into this one. Oh, way to go, Peter. Peter says he's in Toronto, but in January heading to Mexico for 3 months, thanks in part to DTS. Nicely done, Peter. Yeah, I love Mexico. Mexico's great. Keith says, Eric, because of you, the NASDAQ's now my personal favorite as well. Crude oil second, gold third. You know, it's an overlooked market. It was the darling of a lot of traders before the tech bubble burst. Everybody was trading the NASDAQ. But then since then it kind of fell out of favor. But really, it is a great day trading market. Lots of intraday volatility. And at $5 a tick, you can set reasonable stops. You know, this is just a single contract. At 2% of my account, I could run a stop even, well, maybe not below there, but certainly below the second swing. And honestly, you know, I'm the type of person, I don't think you need to chase a lot of market signals around. A lot of signals are going to coincide with each other. Anyhow, I'm sorry, I'm trying to do two things here at once with my trading journal. And here we are back at that 4,800 area. This is a real stumbling block for this market today. Oh, way to go, Andrew. Andrew knocking it out of the park on crude oil. Done for the day. 8 trades on crude and 93 ticks. Nicely done, Andrew. That's not a bad day. You took the heart out of crude that day because crude oil tends to move about 100 ticks a day. So for you to grab 93 of those, that's fantastic. So here's crude oil on the Hawk. I just brought up the Hawk because of the day ranger. And you can see the average range sitting around 122, just shy. We did have some increased volatility. The 5 and 10-day averages up a little bit, so it looks like a little bit more volatility coming into the market. Today's range 124, of which 93 went into Andrew's pocket. Nicely done. It's nice to see crude oil behaving a little bit more like crude oil. By that I mean we get the follow through and we get the solid signals. There was a while there that crude oil just kept stumbling every single time it tried to do something. All right, we need to see this market go. If they don't get through 4,800 and stay through 4,800 this time, I'm going to be really quick about pulling the pin on this trade. All right, that's all you get. My concern is that this current move may just be a test of the extreme. And if it is a test of the extreme, well then it's very likely the market will try to retest the lows, and I may as well get out of Dodge. Come on. Oh, you guys were so close. All right, here we'll help them along a little bit. I hate to manipulate the market in this way, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Come on, get up there. There you go. Come on, you can do it. Give it a little push with your mouse. It helps. There we go. Come on. There we go. You can do it. Oh, whew. Hard work. Come on, keep going. Daniel's asking, are we getting a first micro macro cross in the hawk? Yes, sir. We certainly are. Way to go. Glad you spotted that. That is a first micro macro cross. So your micro line crossing your macro line. This is the first signal where everything is in sync. At the very least, I would say you want to leave your stop here below the crest in the macro line. You don't want to keep your stop too close in case, the market needs a little bit of wiggle room, which seems to be the theme today. Tony says I need more mouse power on my mouse. Come on, get up there. We'll help it along again a little bit. I looked away for a little while and it's fading. Come on, get up there. See, it's this little double high, if you will. The buyers are trying, but if they can't get through and stay above this 4,800 area, they're done. $47.99 3/4. Come on. 4,800. There we go. Oh, 48 quarter. Quarter, half, quarter. Oh, man. Let's go. Here, I'll give you just a little push. Just tip you over the edge. There you go. Just a little nudge. There we go. Where's the follow through? You guys, come on. What do we got? 30 bucks. All right, there we go. Break even. Time to go. This may also prove to be a little bit early rolling my stop to break even, but I just don't trust the market. There's no follow through. We've seen it break 4,800. We've seen it break 4,801. We've even seen it break 4,802. And nothing. No follow through. What's with that? Well, again, that's characteristic of a sideways market. Stop running. I do believe they will try to go higher here, but of course, if they can't, well, I may as well take my break even if it means the market goes on without me. And honestly, at this point, I'm going to need a little bit of luck to be sure. All right, well, here we go, 4802. here. So 3, there we go. Oh, come on. Well, I'll just have to let this one run out, and hopefully it will get up to its profit objective before it gets back down here to the break-even trigger. We are in full-on scalp mode for only another 7 minutes, after which trend mode might be coming back into the market. Of course, at this point, we don't know whether the trend will be up or down. Tony says, I'm sitting on my hands. This market's too tough for me. It does require a great deal of patience. Oh, there we go. Got another break-even tag. All right, well, good time to pack up today. I think it's very likely we're going to see the market head lower from here as the buyers just can't seem to get it together. Could see another run back toward the low of the morning, maybe around the 47.90 area. If we break below that, well, we've got some room to move. So you can open yourself up to the possibility of a bearish move later today or tomorrow. But right now, yeah, it's pretty tough slogging right now. All right, boys and girls, I'll catch you again tomorrow morning. We'll talk to you then. Bye for now.